The banks of the mighty Murray River once again played host to the fourth stage of the Scody Cup, the TIFOSI Eyewear Tour of the Murray River. A flat sprinter's paradise, the team who could control the pack and the lead-out would surely win. Genesis Wealth Advisors have, so far, dominated this year's series, but with teams packed with fast men, there was plenty of determination to change that trend. The weather was spectacular, the views glorious, and the racing furious. The die was cast for another brilliant week of Scody Cup action. The magnificent Moira Shire hosted the opening stage, a 30-lap crit, with a farmer's market on the shores of Lake Mulwala. Fittingly, Australian Criterium champion Jonathan Cantwell, racing for V Australia, took the win ahead of Peter Thompson from Dratpack Professional Cycling and Von Hoff. As we've grown to expect, Steele was not going to be left behind, taking the win in Stage 2 and moving to a 2-second lead in the GC. The locals enjoyed the sunshine in Numurkah, as the Moira Shire Council's 25k Criterium took its toll on 2010 Murray winner Joel Pearson. This fall, his third in 3 races. New Zealand unit Rubbo Direct, under the guidance of Gordon McCauley, looked strong, and young rider Myron Simpson took the stage. With tricky winds picking up in the afternoon, Stage 4, an 82k road race from Numurkah to Nathalia, was bound to be full of excitement. And there wasn't long to wait as riders went down again. Rubbo Direct New Zealand's Aaron Gates saw the opportunity and escaped in a breakaway with 8 hot on his tail. Gate holding on to take the win, but an excited Shaw claimed the yellow jersey. Day 3 began with a 71k road race from Echuca to Kyabram along the mighty Murray. The Genesis boys limping onto their bikes after a few days of carnage. Von Hoff remained steady, defeating Melbourne Commonwealth Games time trial gold medalist Ben Kirsten and teammate Patrick Shaw. To Rochester, birthplace of the legendary Oppie, where V Australia's success continued. Michael Freeberg crossing the line ahead of Shane Archibald and Adam Phelan, Dratpack Professional Cycling. The recently flood-stricken Kerrang hosted Stage 7 as riders picked up pace on some bumpy, challenging corners. Pearson hitting the dirt for the 5th time, but tough as nails, he climbed back on. This was the battleground for the sprint points, Shaw claiming the sprint jersey along with the yellow, while seemingly unstoppable 29-year-old Ben Kirsten took line honours. Swan Hill, the heart of the Murray River, was beating frantically as riders saddled up for Stage 8, an 80.7k road race beginning with 10 laps around the town. This breakaway opened up to 30 seconds. Genesis Wealth Advisors Anthony Giacopo obviously not keen for it to succeed. By the finish, the break was closed down, Ben Kirsten unwittingly playing the lead-out man for Von Hoff, helping him to move up a position in the GC, Patrick Shaw remaining on top. After Jonathan Cantwell claimed his second victory for the week, taking out Stage 9, riders crossed the border for the only New South Wales leg of the competition, the Euston Club Resort Criterium. Johnny Walker, V Australia, determined to keep a good roll going, formed a strong breakaway, flanked by Cam Peterson, Reece Pollock from Dratpack Professional Cycling, and Mick Cupid, Team Budget Forklifts. With the consensus to let Walker gain the lion's share of the points, the peloton eventually closed the breakdown. Cantwell, the stage winner, and Walker claiming 38 bonus points and taking the sprint leader's jersey, 23 points clear of Shaw. Oyen sliced their way into the TIFOSI Tour of the Murray River for Stage 11, the WHK crit around the town. Glenn O'Shea, Team Sassy Cycling, Reece Pollock and Michael Freeberg formed an early break, leading the peloton by 26 seconds. Before long, that lead had slipped to 16 seconds. Pollock seizing the opportunity and riding off the front for a win and to claim the most aggressive jersey for the stage. 7 out of 8 hill climbs in this race, and known for its crosswinds, stage 12 was the stage that could shake the week up. Joe Lewis, bikebug.com, sporting a Moe in honour of the tour of the Moe River, pushed hard on the climbs, claiming a place in all but one. His team continuing to drive the peloton in the final Ks, but it was the man of steel, Steele von Hoff, who crossed the line ahead of Kirsten and Grenfell. Joe Lewis gaining the KOM jersey after 2 falls earlier in the week.
I think I hit 70k an hour in one of the hill climb sprints, so maybe it wasn't exactly a climber's race, but no, it's good to come away with a jersey. That was one of the team's goals for the week.
Bikebug.com continued to shine in stage 13, Philip Grenfell taking the win, while Ben Kirsten continued to push his GC placing, winning stage 14, taking him to within 1 second of third position. In typical Mildura style, the final race of the series was held in magnificent conditions. All thoughts were on who out of Von Hoff and Shaw would leave as the GC champion. Big mover Ben Kirsten was gunning for Adam Phelan's third position, and most of the rest were just ready to call it a day after a week of intense racing. Shaw, flanked by teammates, gained intermediate points, but then moved aside for Von Hoff to take the win. Grenfell second and the persistent Kirsten third, moving him into third in the GC overall. Even though the week threw a new level of competition at Genesis Wealth Advisors, they were once again the strongest and arguably the most united team on the tour. Patrick Shaw remaining in yellow 2 seconds clear of Steele von Hoff and 29 seconds clear of Ben Kirsten.
This is the one tour that we were worried about, and it's the hardest tour to win for sure. It's 8 days. That's a lot of hard work, and if you have a bit of misfortune like we did, which was 8 or 10 crashes for our riders, luckily I wasn't one of them, which was a good feeling. But you never want to see anyone crash. But the guys just came together and did everything that was required to hold the jersey for me for the whole week. And of course, having Steele applying pressure in the sprint finishes was also tremendous.
Johnny Walker claimed the Tasco Inland Sprint Championship jersey, while Von Hoff took the WHK Criterium Championship, and New Zealander Alexander Ray the Melbourne Community Bank Most Aggressive Rider jersey. Von Hoff remains the clear-cut Scody Cup leader, 102 points clear of Ben Kirsten. The final leg of the Scody Cup will be held in Tasmania on the 4th to the 9th of October. Join us again for all the highlights right here on Cycling Central.